Close the door behind you. You're now in the green room.
Yo, everybody, welcome to the green room. Today we're talking to Keane Jules, a Grenadian multi-instrumentalist at 1993 base on Instagram. I enjoyed talking to him, and I think you'll enjoy listening into the conversation that we had. Remember, the green room is open to all Caribbean Caribbean instrumentalists, even those who don't live in the Caribbean. So if you're interested in talking to us, shoot us an email at lucianmusicians@gmail.com. Now, let's get into music. So just for the Lucian Musicians listeners, can you just give us kind of a quick introduction to who you are, your name, full name, what you play, how you started with music, and so on?
All right. Well, my name is Keane Jules. I am from the country of Grenada, known as the Isle of Spice. Yeah, you had to big it up 473 to the wall, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I started music because of my mother and my father. I grew up in a musical family. My dad is a multi-instrumentalist as well. He plays both guitar and bass, and sometimes play around the drums a little bit. My mom plays guitar and sings, and then my sisters, they sing and do a lot of other stuff like dancing and those kind of stuff. And I was kind of all around about it. Decide, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to the instruments as well.
Right.
And the inspiration really came from them seeing what they're doing, and and just grabbing, the opportunity to make myself what they do.
All right. And, I want to get into Grenada a little bit, but before we talk about Grenada, I've always found it interesting. I've always found musical families interesting. In my family, my mother used to sing and my sister used to sing a little bit. But I wouldn't say that I'm from a musical family in the way that a lot of people come from musical families. And I wonder sometimes, in a musical family, is it genes that causes everybody to be able to do something, or is it the way, just the influence and people influencing one another to kind of pick up the craft and learn, or just people kind of rubbing off on each other? What do you think about that?
I think it's the influence, I believe it's that. I don't think, our parents should would want to force their child into doing something that they don't want to do. I think, what my parents did was give me the opportunity to choose for myself what I really wanted to do. And I guess as much they picked that up from since I was a little baby. Based on certain music, I will be jolly, and based on some again, I would literally cry or go and hide. So they understood that my child, really appreciate the emotions that comes from music and so on. So,
Did they tell you what kind of music would cause you to run and hide or cry?
Well, yeah, they say pretty much, if it's slow and I know you have some kind of classical feel to it with strings, I would literally cry. And also if the singer is very aggressive, I couldn't stand it, so I would start making noise. Yeah.
And what age were you at when you started doing that? Was that straight out of the womb, or after a couple of months? Or
they say it was a couple of months. They start recognizing that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. It's like some people are born musical, you know, and I think that's a very beautiful thing.
It
Before, oh, go ahead.
No, it is. It is. It really is a beautiful thing. I
Yeah,
mean, not yeah. It's just you don't have no speech about that. You would be very speechless about people who grow into that, who just out of the womb, couple of months, and they understand music in their own way. In expression.
all right.
Yeah, that's all I'd say.
So, at the top of the call, you mentioned that you were from Grenada. So
Yeah.
I want you to tell the listeners, tell the Lucian Musicians listeners, a couple of things about Grenada. If they've never heard about it, or if they've never visited, they're from another Caribbean island, tell us something about the Spice Isle.
Okay. So Grenada, aka the Isle of Spice, is known for its beautiful spices. Example, nutmeg. We also do like cinnamon and stuff because we export that, but we're known for those mainly. Nutmeg, clove, the different spices. We're known for that. We're also known for our warm, friendly people. We are very nice, very courteous. We love to get along with people, make sure that they're okay and so on. We're also known for, I would say, soca music. There's a big thing here. Everybody into that, or should I say, more in depth, the jab music. A lot of people really love that. It's big on that. We're also known for our beautiful sceneries and beautiful beaches, man. Crystal clear waters. Trust me, you would enjoy yourself, man. Places like the Annandale Waterfalls, Leapers Hill. Few places, there are places like Bathway Beach, that's up in the north. Then you have Grand Anse in the south, BBC. And many other places, man, that you can enjoy about this beautiful place. And yeah, we also known for the one main thing, for food, oil dung. Dog would enjoy that 100%. Trust
What
me,
kind of thing for
especially
food? You said something about food there. What
yeah,
was that? A
oil dung.
dish? Oil
Yeah,
dung?
national dish, oil dung.
What's that?
It's made with let's say good stuff. You can put anything in it. It's basically based on to get the color of it is based on saffron, like natural stuff.
Okay.
And in it you can do chicken or smoke herring and stuff. But the main thing about it is the callaloo and the breadfruit. If that's not there, then it's no oil dung.
All right, that sounds like something I might want to try one of these days, man.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good food, man. I'm telling you.
Y'all do roti in Grenada?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think it tastes like how it would, in Trinidad. But yeah, we just try a thing. People does real get on with it. You have a few people that really does it well.
All right, y'all have doubles there?
Yeah, we have that too.
Okay, in St. Lucia, we have roti, but I never really see a doubles place. And I know the Lucian Musicians listeners might correct me, but I don't think I've ever really seen a doubles place in St. Lucia.
Okay.
But yeah,
man, a few doubles places here. Mainly north side in St. Andrew. That's northeast, yeah. And in the south, which is in St. George's in Grand Anse side. Yeah, you have places that really does it well, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're really selling Grenada now. You're making me want to make a quick visit, huh?
Yeah, man, you have to. It's a lovely place. I believe most of our Caribbean countries are very lovely, and we deserve to big it up full 100, yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that Grenada is really big on soca music. How about reggae music and the other Caribbean genres like calypso and um, pretty much zouk? Oh, I know you guys aren't French like Saint Lucia, but I don't know if you listen to zouk or compa music or like apart from soca, what else is Grenada into?
We are into a lot of dancehall as well, and reggae. Well, reggae, conscious vibes, rock steady, the full works. We love that. Especially our sister island, they're big on a lot of reggae music. They love that. Carriacou and PT Matnik. Big up all yourself. If you have people on Lucian musicians listening from Carriacou and PT Matnik, big up yourself. Yeah, yeah. Those sister islands are big on that. They really love that. We have people doing other stuff like R&B, or hip hop. A lot of contemporary stuff. And most Caribbean countries have people doing gospel music as well.
Right.
So I believe, we all rounded in listening mostly everything.
All right.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest ones is soca music, like the rest of the
Yes.
Eastern Caribbean for sure.
Yes. Soca music.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know you mentioned that your father is a multi-instrumentalist, and so are you. I really enjoyed that video that we featured on the Lucian Musicians platform, the Good Morning video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Oh, man, thank you, man.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
I was at a sound check and I just decided, just take a vid. And I didn't realize that the vid would have come in handy about 24 months later. And that's how the video ended up happening because of that one drum vid. And the rest was done at home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was just feeling the energy the morning. I was like, I should just bless people's hearts. Make them feel good, just start off right. And let they continue the rest of the day like that. Yep.
Yeah, man, you gotta let no, that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you play all these instruments, do you have a favorite? Like, is there an instrument that feels more like home to you than any of the other instruments?
Well, I would say I don't really have a favorite instrument. I would say I am more fond of the foundation, both drum and bass. Because without them, the music cannot stand at all.
Right.
And they are the ones that really communicate with each other. Even though I am falling in love with keys right now, learning my voicings and learning my fingering, which is very hard right now, but it will become easy. I think the foundation instruments would always remain A1 for me.
All right. So I want to rephrase my question and make it a little more intense. So let's say now I came to you and I have your talent for drums in one hand and your talent for bass in the other hand. And I'm going to take one away, and you have to tell me which one you want to keep. Which one do you keep and why?
I'll keep the bass.
You keep the bass? Why the bass?
Yeah. I'll be able to tell more stories with that one.
Huh.
Reason being because I like a lot of melodic stuff. I mean, you could do a lot of melodic stuff on drums. People might say drums is just, phrases and this and that, but you can create a story with your drums melodically, using a different tuning of your drums. You can get a lot of songs out of one drum. People don't know that, but for me, I would just stick with the bass.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I would probably do the same thing, even though I don't play drums. I don't think I have the coordination for drums. But I think if in some some reality or some world I had the option of choosing between drums and bass, I'll probably choose bass too. But I also agree with what you were saying about you being able to have some freedom to express yourself melodically on the drums, despite it being a percussion instrument. People oftentimes don't see that, and I agree with that statement. There was somewhere that I read that, I don't know if I read it or if I heard it somewhere, but basically some jazz musician, I don't know if it was Herbie Hancock or someone else. I think it was Herbie Hancock, but the jazz musician was basically saying that the drums is also a melodic instrument. Basically the same thing you were just saying. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that for sure.
Yep. Totally right.
So all these instruments that you play, which one did you start playing first?
The drums, man. That was my thing from since a baby. Always picking up stuff, pounding it, the pots in the kitchen, the plants in the yard. They would lose all their leaves and stuff, man. I'm telling you, that was my thing. Even if they bought my first kit for me as a child,
right,
man, I'll be banging anywhere. Yeah, so that was my first instrument.
And then go ahead.
And then in 2004, after Hurricane Ivan, we didn't have no instruments to play, and the only thing that was there was my dad's bass, a black Ibanez SR 885. I could remember that. I will never forget that bass. That bass bring back a lot of memories. That was the only bass left. And you know, when he gone to work, I would literally pick up that guitar and, you know, just fiddling around with it, you know, seeing what to do, what not to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
you know,
y'all suffered a lot of damage in that hurricane then?
Yeah, we did.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. It was tough.
Yeah, but
thank God to still be here and, you know, and have my gift still, you know, to share with the world.
Right.
Yeah,
that's one of the hazards for us living in the Caribbean, you know, is, you know, stuff like that where you get these hurricanes that come every year, and we always have to pray between the months of what's the hurricane season again? June to November?
Yeah, June to November.
Yeah, so every year between June to November we have to be praying that, you know, these things don't just come and just mess up our stuff. But for you, I guess it sounds like it turned out in that case to be both a blessing and a curse, because that's how you started on your bass, yeah?
That's right. Most definitely.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how in life sometimes, you know, these things come and we can make a positive out of a negative, you know?
That's right.
So I have another question for you coming out of that. I know on Instagram your name is 1993 Bass. Is that the year that you started playing bass, or is that the year you were born? Like, where's the 1993 coming from?
The 1993 is coming from the year I was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just representing for all the people that born that year, because we have a lot of talented and creative people that came with that year, you know. Yeah. I mean, some I know and some I may not know, but, you know, big up everybody.
All right. So I should call myself 1992 Bass then.
Probably.
Okay. So 1993 Bass. Now you're around my age group. You know, I'm going to be 28 this month, and you should be 27 with the 1993. Now we're at an age where we're looking at a lot of younger musicians who are beginning to get better. They're now able to express themselves very well. And, you know, what do you think the younger generation will change in the sound of music in Grenada, or what do you think the next generation will change in the sound of just music in the world? And where do you see music going with the next generation?
I think the next generation, it may not change, but the consistency of wanting to be better
Mm-hmm.
is gonna really, really shred. That's how I see it. And they might, as we know, there's this thing, they're just saying, nothing is new under the sun, right?
All right.
But what I believe is that they're gonna just take what's ever been there before and just capitalize on it and make it even greater, even better. Once they stay disciplined and true to the craft, it's gonna happen.
Okay, so would you then say that's kind of the advice that you would want to give to the next generation, then, to be driven, to be focused, to continue wanting to do better, to keep working at the craft?
Most definitely. There ain't no other way to say it. And I don't want to even try to put it in a complicated way to say it, to make them not understand what you just said and what I just said as well.
Right.
Exactly how you said it, just like that.
Something I wonder sometimes. Let me tell you something I wonder. Sometimes I wonder if there will come a day where, or just come a time where musicianship has reached its limit, or reached the highest level that it could get to. And what I mean by that is, every now and again you listen to the guys who are older than us, or the guys who came before us in the music industry, and they'll say stuff like, yo, y'all young guys are doing this and that, and back in my time, we didn't do that. And sometimes they're so amazed by these new fills and new runs and new things that people are doing. You think there's going to come a day where we've hit the maximum level of musicianship?
I don't think so, but I don't think so. The sky's the limit. You don't have no limit in the sky. So whatever new and fresh comes out, I just think we just have to appreciate it as it is. From, like, if we reach the era God spared life where the new generation just do, crazy stuff, we just gotta appreciate it, because those before us are already appreciating what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
So you think people will just keep getting better and better and better? Almost, it's kind of the same discussion as technology, right? Because people are always saying, boy, I wonder what they're going to invent next. I wonder what they're going to make next. So you think it's kind of the same thing as in music?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, close enough, man. I mean, technology, has its pros and cons with little bugs and stuff. But I think in music, the only bugs you have is, not practicing and making a set of mistakes and not trying to get away from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's good that you just mentioned practice, because there's some people that get very good at their instruments. We all know that, yes, there's natural ability, but also a lot of getting good on your instrument is practicing. What do you think it is that gives some people the motivation to practice and other people don't have the motivation?
Okay, what gives people the motivation to practice?
All right.
I would say knowing that you want to be somewhere, knowing that is what you want to do, this is what you want to sound like, especially if you're trying to find your own sound, that motivates you to practice. Even if it becomes boring, you're still going to do it anyways. And within the time of practicing, you might figure out stuff that you never thought you would have done. And that's the whole thing about it. Now, people I think that are not motivated to practice, I think they're just doing it. There's no love into it. They just see, they might see it as a hobby. They're just, a secondary thing for them to do. And that's how I see it. I think once you have passion for it, there's also a destination or accomplishment you're trying to finish, or meet. But once you don't know what, I ain't saying I don't know what to do, but once you're not thinking about something that you're trying to reach, then it makes sense.
All right. And I think the key word that you mentioned there, the word that I enjoyed there the most was destination. If you know that you're practicing towards a destination and you're practicing to get somewhere, I think that's a very, very huge incentive to be consistent and to not give up.
Yep, most definitely. And that's me right now with the keys.
What's your destination with the keys right now?
To be as fluent as possible in changes and in every key, no matter what genre of music that I have to play, be it studio or on a live show, if I get called for it. But I believe in studying to improve yourself, show, just in case somebody fall off. You could always fit in.
Right.
Somewhere, so the music doesn't change, the feel doesn't change, so it remains there. That's how I see it.
I feel that. And interesting. My thing is, for especially for me practicing guitar, I don't want my destination to be a fixed destination, because I know myself, and I know when I get to that point where I'm fluent and comfortable and I can play whatever I think, then I would just say, okay, all right, that's it. And that's where you become stagnant. That's where you stop practicing. That's where you've kind of fall off the boat, So I like when I've gotten to a certain destination, I like to make up a new destination. You understand?
Yeah, totally understand.
Yeah, but while you were talking about your keyboard, I got curious about something else too.
Okay.
I'm wondering what gear do you have in your arsenal? Like, what keyboard are you using? What bass were you using in your videos and stuff like that?
All right. Well, the bass I have is a very, 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 well, I won't say very vintage, but it's a signature bass for a guy named Ken Taylor, made by Sandberg. And I think this one is a prototype.
So you have a concept bass.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you have jazz pickups on it, not like the regular humbucker ones that they make right now.
Okay. And do you have any other basses, or is that your only one?
Well, right now that's the only one. So I had so much memories. My first bass I actually bought was a Ibanez 485 QM. I think that's the one. I did some mods with that, and people thought it sounded like a Ken Smith or MTD.
Yeah.
But the simple mod I did was just change the strings, and just getting and the height of the string. That was it. No big setup thing. Yeah, just change the bridge. Yeah, just that. Yeah, and everything was really comfortable to do what you want to do.
Yo, I have a story that's probably going to make you cringe, but I used to have a Squire jazz bass, right?
Yeah. I know those wicked bass.
Yeah, beautiful basses.
Yeah.
And I was playing it and I loved that bass. It was a 5-string Squire Jazz.
Yeah.
And one day, you know, like I was kind of playing, my action didn't feel too nice. And I say, okay, let me lower the strings a little bit. Let me tighten the truss rod a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was, you know, I didn't think it would be too difficult or anything. So I did some reading and I say, okay, let me just fix my action. So I took my Allen wrench and I pulled my bass and I started tightening the truss rod. And I was tightening and I said, I don't really see anything happening. So I
Yeah.
really start tightening it.
Oh, shoot.
So I really start tightening the truss rod, right? And then, you know, after a while I realized, okay, I'm overdoing it. So I stopped myself and then I kind of loosened it up a little bit. And then I tried
Right.
to see. And then I looked at the neck, you know, kind of eyeballing the neck and I say, okay, it looks nice. It looks straight. I guess I'm fine, right?
Right.
So then maybe a week after or something, I was at a rehearsal and I'm playing, right? And I'm
Right. Yeah.
playing at the rehearsal. And the drummer was a friend of mine. He picked up my bass and he was just fiddling around and doing stuff. And then he got to a certain part of the neck and everything there sounded out of tune.
Oh man, your intonation.
My intonation was jacked up, man. Terrible.
Damn.
So,
You know, once you interfere the truss rod, you have to readjust your bridge as well. So
yeah, man.
yeah.
And I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. And so
Yeah, that's how it be.
after that, I didn't really know how to fix that. And yeah, that was it for my Squire Jazz.
Man, that used to give me headache. Telling you. You get a nice feel, but your bass still out of tune. That used to give me headache. And all I needed was just to readjust the bridge. That's all.
Now, when you say readjust the bridge, what exactly do you mean? So, like if you can explain it over this call, it's fine. But I'm just curious.
Okay, let's see how I can do this. No, we all know the bridge, right? But you know the part where the strings rest on.
Yeah.
You know, you can put them in different angles. Like you could put all of them, you know, in line with each other, and then you could do like a kind of step sequence.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, if you depends on what you do to your truss rod and or your neck, you generally those really affect your intonation. So it's just finding the right adjustment to make sure that it, you know, on all frets, whatever notes that you play, you know, it remains in tune. So it's just taking some time after, you know, to see what is what. I think, you know, it have some videos online, you know, just for that exactly, to show you how it's done. But it's just that part. As soon as you interfere your truss rod, your neck, you gotta rethink resetting your bridge just to stay in tune.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I no one. This is actually the first time I heard about that. I didn't know that at all. All right. Cool.
Yep.
So, and you know, after that experience with my Squire Jazz, I never touched my truss rod again on any bass. Like if I have to do that, I'm going to Guitar Center. I'm going to a professional to try and just adjust my truss rod because I was traumatized after that. Say, boy, because I really loved that bass. That was a good bass, man.
I feel it, man. That was a good bass. Trust me. The way you talk about it, I was like, yeah, man. I know that. I had some experience with those. Trust me. Really nice. Really.
Yeah. But you know, before we head out to the green room tonight, there's one more thing I just want to ask you, and this is a question I've been talking to other people on the previous episodes about. I think I spoke to Sean about this. And this is just a very interesting question to me. Do you think musicianship, and by musicianship, I'm particularly referring to instrumentalism and like playing an instrument. Do you think it's a gift or is it a skill?
Huh. That is a good question. Now let me start off with myself. Now, I would say the way have been born is a gift, right?
Okay.
And with understanding your gift, for me, I see it as communication, because music is really talking amongst each other once you're around a group of men. So I think it's understanding yourself and then understanding how to speak around other people makes it a gift.
All right.
And by that I mean by every genre, because let's say we're jamming, right? And both of us just wanna solo at the same time. That don't make no sense.
Right.
But if we start, right, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna take the lead, I will quickly grasp that instantly and do what as a company as accompaniment people would do.
All right.
Yeah, so it's just a feeling. It's a feeling as well. As it's like a get go thing. You don't even think about it, but as soon as you hear it, it just happens immediately. For some people, like me, but for others, it takes a lot of understanding to get there.
All right. So
Yeah.
From what you're saying, it kind of sounds like you're saying it's a gift, yeah?
Yeah, it's a
All
gift
right.
for most people.
All right. So far we have one for gift and one for skill. I'm very interested in what the next response will be.
Trust me, I think it is a gift based on the whole vibe, what you hear instantly. It's how you grow up doing it. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it have some people, they just get into music and they will not really understand that, exactly from the get go. But once you're in it for a very long time, it comes naturally.
Yeah.
Especially like how babies would appreciate music. They could understand, certain things are going on. We may not know, but yeah, that does really happen. I mean, it might sound a little off for some people, but it is what it is. It's a thing that you can't really explain, but you can see it. You can see it happening.
All right.
Yeah. So I think it's a gift. Once you feel it, it will just happen instantly.
No, man,
Quote unquote.
I agree. For me, I'm still kind of
Yeah.
on the fence about it because I'm still halfway gift and halfway skill. But I definitely know that there's a lot of things that I was personally never taught, and my friends that I've played with and other people that I've played with were probably never taught in a book anywhere. But they it's just something that there's some things that you just know to do and you know when to do it.
Of
You know?
course, of course, of course.
Yeah.
So right, yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us on the Green Room. Um, uh, of course, we will share your Instagram and everything when we post this episode. The episode will be posted on Wednesday. However, right now, before we end the call, tell people where they can find you, tell them what to look for from you, and just leave them on a positive note.
All right, people. So once again, my name is Keane Jules. representing 473 Store, Grenada, Isle of Spice. You can find me on Facebook, Keane, Jules, both pages, one in black and white and one with me and my two musical brothers. You can add me on both of them. You can also find me on Instagram at 1993 Bass. That's 1993 Bass. And you can also type in Keane Prods, that's my production name, on Instagram. Find me there. What you can look forward to is some new snippets, of popular songs and probably some old school songs that people really enjoy listening to. In my interpretation of those songs. So when they are finished, I will post and let you know what's coming. And also, people, stay safe. Don't do nothing that you won't think of doing. Be positive in your musicianship. Be open-minded to learn, and that's gonna take you far. And as everybody say, keep practicing, even if it doesn't make sense. It's gonna take you somewhere. It will actually happen. So that's my word of motivation. Thank you for having me from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate this.
Yo, thanks for listening. Keane's information will be posted along with this episode. I'm so excited for all the future conversations we'll be having together. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, like on Facebook. All of those links can be accessed from the website www.lucianmusicians.com. You can expect an episode of The Green Room every month. See y'all later.